this video we are going to see about statement of affairs with adjustment. That means we are going to open statement of affairs. Likewise, we are going to adjust the adjustments given in the problem. So how we do that is any kind of adjustment is always adjusted in the closing statement of affairs. That is the statement of affairs which we prepare to find the closing capital. So let's go through the sum and start off with it. Anand does not keep his books under double entry system. Find the profit or loss made by him for the year ending 31st March 2019. So we must find the statement of profit or loss also. That is, we must prepare the statement of profit or loss and find profit or loss gain by him. So there are particular number of items given over there and two columns are given. So the two columns are headed by 31/3/2018 and 31/3/2019. So 2018 is the opening balance, whereas 2019 is the closing balance. Further, when you read through the sum, Anand had withdrawn 60,000 for his personal use. So that is our drawings. He had introduced 17,000 as capital for expansion of his business. That is additional capital. Create a provision of 5% on debtors. So that is our adjustment which we are going to do only in the closing statement of affairs. Plant and machinery is to be depreciated at 10%. This is also going to be prepared only in the closing statement of affairs. So in this kind of sums, prefer doing it separately. That is statement of affairs on beginning and statement of affairs using the closing balances separately. So let's first start off with the statement of affairs at the beginning, that is 31/3/2018, so that we can find the opening capital first. So we have written down the format, that is having liabilities and assets on both sides. First start off with the liabilities. The first liability is going to be sundry creditors, and that is the only liability given. So sundry creditors is rupees 1,70,000. We are gonna do everything with 31/3/2018 balances. So after sundry creditors, the rest of the items are assets. So let's go move on to the asset side. So the asset side, the first one, if you take a look at the cash at bank, there is given 5,000 debit. So 5,000 debit in the sense it's an asset, it's a normal balance. Whereas if you see 31/3/2019, it is 60,000 credit. That means it's a bank overdraft. So cash at bank debit will come on the asset side. Cash at bank, 5,000 rupees. Next, it's going to be cash in hand for 3,000 rupees. Next is stock of goods. So I will just write stock, that is 35,000 rupees. Sundry debtors is 1 lakh. Plant and machinery which is 80,000. As I told you previously, we are not going to perform or adjust any adjustments over here because this is only 31/3/2018. So it's all the opening balances. Only in the closing balances we are going to do any kind of adjusting work. So land and buildings is 1,40,000. Sundry credit. So the asset side and the liability side are over. So next we are going to total up the asset side. So the asset side total is 383. So we've done with the asset side and the liability side. So now we are going to total up the asset side. So previously I've written 50,000, but that's wrong. I'm sorry. It is only 5,000, that is cash at bank. So when we add up all the asset side, we get a total of 363,000. So I'll transfer the total. This is a grand total. So this has to be written on both sides of the debit and credit. Now when you're going to the liability side, it is only going to be sundry creditors over there. So 363 minus 1,70 is going to be 1,93,000. So this 1,93,000 is nothing but my opening capital. So with the opening capital being done, I'm going to start a statement of affairs for 31/3/2019, which will include all the adjustments also. So now we are going to do statement of affairs as on 31/3/2019. So all the balances prevailing to this particular year has to be prepared in the statement of affairs. So let's look into the liability side first. The first item which is going to come on the liability side is going to be bank. Why bank in the sense? So if you look into the sum, they have given cash at bank 31/3/2019 60,000 credit. So when it is given as a credit, it is taken up as bank overdraft. So it has to come to the liability side. Liability side literally explains the credit side. It's related to the credit balances. So 60,000. Next is going to be sundry creditors. So a sundry creditors, that is 1,30,000. So these are the two liabilities. Now let's move on with the asset side. So when we are doing the asset side, we must be careful that we have to start with the adjustments which is given in the sum. That is the main reason why we have split up this particular statement of affairs. So the adjustment first given in the sum is create a provision on 5% of debtors. So first I'll write down sundry debtor. So sundry debtor is equals to 90,000, and you have to create a provision. So provision is always subtraction. So provision, we are going to subtract it. So the percentage of provision is at 5%. So it is at 5%. So I'll just do the working over here. That is, you have to do 90,000 into 5 by 100. So cancel the two zeros. So you'll get 4,500 as your provision. So write that 4,500 over here and you're going to subtract it. So when you subtract it, you will get 85,500 as your sundry debtors. So next it's going to be plant and machinery is the next adjustment. So plant and machinery, first write the balance down. So plant and machinery balance is 80,000. Subtract, they've asked you to give a depreciation at 10%. So you're going to give a depreciation at 10%. So when it is 10%, it's very easy. You just have to take out the last unit's place. So your depreciation value is 8,000 rupees. So if you subtract 8,000 rupees from 80,000, you will get 72,000 as plant and machinery. So the adjustments are over. So the rest of the items, we are just going to include it into this. So the second item given over there as per the sum is cash in hand. So cash in hand is 4,500. Next, stock of goods is 45,000. Land and buildings is rupees 1,40,000. And that's the end of it. So now we have to determine the total of both the sides. So when you compare and see itself, obviously your asset side is going to be a huge total. So the asset side total is going to be 3,47,000 is your grand total. So write the total on both sides. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the liability side and subtract the balance. So liability side is 1,90,000. So 3,47,000 minus 1,90,000 is 1,57,000. So this 1,57,000 is nothing but a closing capital. This is going to be a closing capital, which we are going to use next in the statement of profit or loss. So this is the statement of profit or loss format, and now we are going to start off with entering the figures into it. So the closing capital which we found out was 1,57,000. Drawings as per the sum is given as 60,000. So when you add 1,57,000 and 60,000, you're gonna get 2,17,000. The additional capital which he has introduced is 17,000. So now we're gonna subtract this too. So that's gonna be 2 lakhs. This 2 lakhs is the adjusted capital. Now the opening capital which we found out as per the sum is 1,93,000 only. So when you subtract 2 lakh and 1,93,000, you get a profit of 7,000.